The White House announced that Israel had agreed pause military operations for several hours a day to allow civilians in Gaza evacuate the northern part of the Strip. The White House announced on Thursday that Israel had agreed allow daily 4-hour breaks. Its relentless attacks on Hamas in selected areas northern Gaza to allow civilians escape or go out without fear of danger. President Biden as the death toll rises. The agreement formalizes and expands on what Israel has done in recent days, suspending attacks along a single corridor for several hours to allow people to leave northern Gaza, in addition to opening a second evacuation corridor along the coastal road. Israel will designate a specific area or neighborhood where S will not occur for 4 hours each day. According to American and Israeli officials, the chosen region will be announced 3 hours in advance each day to take a break from the fighting. The idea is not only allow greater separation, but also provide a window free from airstrikes or other attacks so that residents remaining in northern Gaza know they can safely leave their homes, get food and medicine, go to the hospital, or visit family, otherwise act on their own community. The Israelis have told us that there will be no military operations in these areas during the pause, and that process will begin today. White House spokesman John F. Kirby told reporters on a conference call, "These are good steps in right direction," he said, adding that the White House hoped pauses would continue as long as they are needed. Mr. Kirby said daily stops would also allow for the delivery more humanitarian supplies and likely facilitate release of more than 200 hostages held by Hamas, including a handful Americans. He noted that 106 trucks of humanitarian aid passed to Gaza on Wednesday, towards the U.S. target of 150 trucks per day. Credit: Samar Abu Elouf for The New York Times. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said his country's forces had allowed safe passage to southern Gaza, adding that 50,000 Gazans used that route on Wednesday alone. The statement said, "The S continue and there will be no ceasefire until our hostages are released," and added, "We once again call on the civilian population in Gaza to evacuate to the south." Israeli officials appeared determined to make clear that the pauses were limited in time and space, not a broader, permanent pause in military operations aimed at dismantling Hamas. There are tactical, local pauses in humanitarian aid to Gaza civilians. The announcement that a second escape corridor would be opened and the new daily pauses followed days of efforts by Mr. Biden and his team persuade Israel to do more, minimize civilian casualties. Mr. Biden asked Mr. Netanyahu to halt air and ground operations against Hamas during a phone call on Monday. Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken raised issue during his visit to the region, and other officials, including Defense Secretary Lloy,